Welcome to this episode of Say It with Scott, where we look at how the words we use affect the lives we live. I'm Scott Sery. I'm a copywriter, and I'm a lover of how we can take a word here and there in a sentence, tweak it just a little bit, and dramatically change the message that we're sending. This episode is brought to you by Strategic Advisor Board and by my company, Sery Content Development. We're taking a look at how copy and content writing takes a wild idea and tames it down just a little bit. So it's kind of confusing there. What exactly is a wild idea? There are two ways that a wild idea comes about. Well, two ways an idea goes from wild or tame to wild. And usually it goes the other way around. When you're grabbing these ideas, they're wild, and you bring them down and you tame them. So the first way is that it's a really good idea, it's just super scattered. So when you're first learning a new concept, when you're first beginning to understand anything, all the ideas and all the information is wild. And so we read books and we watch videos and we learn about it, and we take all that scattered information and we condense it down to something that we can understand easily and readily. When you're taking a wild idea, something about your business that most people just don't understand, you're taking that big conglomerate of information and you're saying you don't really need to know these bits and kind of here's what it is in a nice neat package, and you hand it off to the reader. The second way an idea is wild is when it is just off the wall. It's a crazy idea that really nobody's going to get on board with unless you tame it. So you're taking this just off the wall crazy concept that most people would just be like, okay, cuckoo, nutso, and they'd just leave you alone. Now you're taking it and you're packaging it up nice and neat, something tame, and presenting it to get people on board with that idea. The biggest struggle I see business owners go through is they don't know which information in that conglomerate of information, they don't know which stuff is important. So they don't know how to narrow it down. Same thing with those wild ideas. They're probably profitable and probably a lot of fun. They just don't know how to package it in a gentler way to hand it off to the reader. That's where a copywriter comes in. We take those ideas, we tame them down, but we keep the idea there and we keep your voice. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Say It with Scott. I hope that you found something informational and educational you can apply to your own business. As usual, if it's not making sense or if you don't want to mess with those wild ideas, hit the links in the description below, reach out, and I would be happy to help. Before you go, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That way you get notifications every time Strategic Advisor Board posts great new content.